TIFU by burning my left nut. So a bit of background, wife and I are overseas holidaying in a tropical part of the world, doing touristy stuff, exploring around. This story begins as we reach a little market farm that grows and sells a variety of plants and herbs such as coffee, tea, cocoa, aloe vera, etc. This place also does a guided walkthrough of the growing area and you are told what each plant does and given a sniff/taste. Our guide reaches turmeric, and shows us a white paste which he claims is turmeric hair removal cream, and asks if we'd like to try it. We say sure, and the cream goes onto the back of my hairy leg so we can see the effects. Fast forward about 15 minutes and we get to the end of our tour and the guide wipes away the cream. Lo and behold, the hair has wiped right off. No pain or tingly sensation at all, and the hair has just shriveled up and wiped away. I now have this bald patch on the back of my leg which I think is amazing and a much easier alternative to shaving. Now, I don't really shave my legs or body, but my wife and I do like each other shaved down there, which is where the TIFU part of this story begins. I'm sure all the guys out there can agree that shaving down there is a bit of a pain and waxing is just flat out a no-go. So when old mate tour guide showed us this natural hair removal paste that has no pain or ill side effects, obviously my brain started ticking over and reached the only logical use case: easy pube removal. OHHH, was I wrong? Fast forward to that night, when I decided to put this plan into effect. I lathered up my nether regions with the white miracle cream and lay in bed. 10 minutes passed and there's a slight tingling sensation coming from my sack. That's okay. I tell myself that the guide was insistent that it was a natural cream and wouldn't cause any harm. 20 minutes into this exercise, I wanted to leave it on a little longer, pubes being a thicker hair than most other places on the body, and the tingling on my sack has elevated to a slight pain. Time to wipe it off. I hop in the shower and holy hell, the hot water stings, so a cold shower it is. I start wiping off the cream and my cheesecake feels radioactive. I'm gritting my teeth as I wipe the excess and after 5 minutes of torture it's all off and I can hop back into bed. This is when I realize I've truly effed up. Walking out of the shower is unbearable and the insides of my thighs feel like sandpaper against my dangler. I look down and my poor bait and tackle are a bright red. Upon further inspection, the skin on my left nut has started to peel and has red spots where the cream has burned the skin. My whole zucchini has first-degree burns with patches of skin that seem to have been burnt through to flesh. My poor wife is distraught when she sees me waddle out of the bathroom, bow-legged with a bright red, blistered sack hanging down. Fast forward a few days and I've been applying a chapped lip cream and my junk has finally gone from Chernobyl tier to only mildly uncomfortable if I sit the wrong way. TL, doctor, I put natural, no burn/tingling hair removal cream on my junk and nearly castrated myself. But did it work? Worked so good he might not be able to grow hair there again possibly. Honey, I didn't order the spiced nuts. Not the best way to have shiny red balls for Christmas. 'Tis the season for bright red balls. I'd kiff it's because it's soon Christmas or something, but hot zucchini, how is everyone burning their jewels at the moment? Guys, read the TIFUs so you don't do the same mistakes. TIFU by introducing my girlfriend to my wetting fetish, NSFW. When I was very young I witnessed one of my classmates wet herself, and ever since then my brain decided to rewire itself to make that the most effective way to turn me on. So naturally when I met my current girlfriend who was open to trying new things, this was top of my list. I warned her that it does take some practice to pull it off because you're essentially going against everything you're raised not to do. We've been together almost a year now, and last night she finally decided she wanted to try it out. I'm a master's student 71 pages deep in my thesis, so Friday nights tend to involve a copious amount of adult libations. With my inhibitions gone, I goaded her into loading up on water until she was squirming around. Just when I thought everything was going well, she came face to face with the battle of bladder versus brain. She tried laying down. She tried standing up. She tried sitting on the floor and even something that looked a lot like a Slav squat, but she just couldn't get over her brain controlling her muscles. In an effort to give her some space to figure it out, I went into the next room and she sat on the toilet with her clothes on. It was at that moment she began breaking wind like a Clydesdale. With all her effort to try to push her water out, her body decided to evict stagnant air instead. Now I consider myself to be a good cook, but something we had last night was just tearing her up. I popped my head in to check on her just as she lets out another cacophonous trumpeting, and she began apologizing. Not trying to be a cheesecake about it, I mentioned something about now it's natural and how I was just happy she was even trying. I left again and the onslaught continued. You could tell that she began getting frustrated because she'd try even harder, which made her bust cheesecake even harder. At this point my 6-pack of Voodoo Ranger Reaper takes over and I'm crying silent tears. I'm laughing so hard. One particularly aggressive expulsion resonated in that oil-it bowl like an earthquake in a grain silo and resulted in oh my god response from her, which made me laugh even harder. Needless to say, we were not successful. We gave up well past midnight, woke up, and attempted some morning hanky-panky to no effect on my part because I was too busy being halfway hungover and halfway hung up my girlfriend's ability to open a hole in the ozone layer by herself. Now I'm posting here with blue balls so severe my stomach hurts. DL, doctor, introduced my girlfriend to Omarashi and received half an hour of flatulence in return. I have tears rolling down my face from laughing. Breaking wind like a Clydesdale, ha ha ha. This is not how I expected the story to go. Sorry about your blue balls, but thanks for the laugh. Cheesecake, this is the most Zune thing I've ever read. Sounds like a possible keeper? Poor thing lol. God butternut, my stomach hurts from laughing so much. This is probably the funniest thing I've ever read. TIFU by Scamming a Scammer. This is going to be really long and my English isn't that good either, so I hope you all would bear with me till the very end. TLDR at the bottom. Well, this runs back to August 12th of this year. That is when I first got an email from this guy Brown Hilton. I was kind of bored at work and decided to go through my spam mail folder, and that is when I noticed this specific mail and decided to reply to this guy and see how it would go. I made a smart move here by not using my main email account to which he had sent the email initially. Instead I used one of my fake email accounts to reply. I think he wasn't aware about the fact that he never sent an email to this fake account, but nevertheless he replied. So this conversation went on for like 2 weeks. I was playing along to the things he asked and I think I had gained this guy's trust enough already by then. Scope of mails we exchanged between each other per day were very low since I didn't open and check my fake account's mails all the time and I only check my mails while at work. He too was kind of a late replier, so the maximum we exchanged in a day was about 3 mails. But then I abruptly stopped replying, honestly because I got a week off from work and completely forgot about the conversation I was having with this guy. On November 04th I got a mail again from this guy and that's when I once again remembered about the conversation I was having with him. His exact words were the following: "How are you doing? I hope this mail will find you well. Though my reason to contact you is that I want to know if you are still interested with our transaction or not, as you have been silent for some couple of time now. I have finalized every arrangement for the transfer but want to know if you are still interested or not." At first I decided not to reply, but after a while I got this crazy idea and replied on November 14th, and this is exactly what I told him. "Hello my dear friend, the reason as to why I was silent was that I suddenly fell ill and now am in a critical condition. I don't know how much longer I have left to live, so I can't move forward with our transaction. I am willing to give away my wealth to someone before I pass away. If you are interested, please let me know. I can give you around 600,000 United States dollars. I played along once again and I gained this guy's trust even more this time. I could sense it from his replies, but that was maybe because he was impatient and eager to get his hands on the $600,000. And then the protagonist of this story, Kiba, succumbed to his illness and died sadly. After a week the new protagonist came into play and I named him Neji. Yes, I am a Naruto fan, so I used names from the anime LOL. By this time I was already having this guy's real name and all the other necessary bank details of him. I acted surprised when I got to know his real name and country of residence first, since he was pretending to be an American and not a South African. Said the account belongs to his wife Lamau. Anyway, back to the conversation I had with this guy. Neji happens to be the brother of late Kiba. Since a new protagonist was introduced to my story, I had to build my trust once again with this guy, and took me some time to convince him. I even had to send him pictures of the funeral when he asked for some. I managed to find legit looking stock photos from Google that do not have any watermarks and are hard to trace back by doing a reverse image search. The conversation went on for a while, and the day of the transfer of $600,000 came. I was having the idea of trying to scam him in the back of my mind throughout the whole conversation. So I decided to make a legit looking letter addressed to me by the bank asking for a transaction fee for this transfer. I made this decent looking letter, which looks really legit, addressed to me asking for a transaction fee, and I sent it to him and told him my situation. Told him that I didn't have enough money to pay for it since I had to spend pretty much all my savings on my brother's funeral. He was calling himself a millionaire, doing deals in millions every week. So I asked him to pay this transaction fee since he's a millionaire, and $250 is literally nothing for a millionaire. Few mails of convincing back and forth later, how it is not possible to take money from the $600,000 to pay the fee and all, he agreed to pay. Said the fee needs to be paid over the counter, so I asked him to send me the money directly so I could withdraw it and pay. The stupid bugger did send me the money eventually, on the 6th of December to be exact, and that was through PayPal because I told him that PayPal is the only possible way for me to receive the money. Luckily I had a secondary PayPal account linked to this fake email of mine, so I used that for the transfer. And now to the part where I banana up. See, as mentioned previously, I made this really legit looking letter to fool him into thinking that the bank actually requires a transaction fee of $250 to complete the transfer. Every detail mentioned in the letter is fake except for the name and the logo of the bank I used. The name and logo I used in this letter are from a bank which actually exists here in my country. I used those as precautionary measures in case if he ever decided to look up for details of the bank online. Didn't think it through enough, mostly because I wasn't expecting him to actually send me that money. I was only doing it for the thrill of it. When I got the mail stating about the successful PayPal transaction, I was literally stunned, and the first thing I did was to go and drain my account off of the entire amount of $250 by buying some action figures I've been eyeing on eBay for a while now. I have been ignoring my beloved South African friend ever since. It's been 6 days now, and he has been sending me mails continuously demanding me to pay his money back ASAP, cursing me, threatening to harm me with his black magic skills, and the latest threat is that he would take legal action against me together with the bank I used in my letter, by informing them about the fraud I did by using their name. Seems like he has figured out the bank actually exists. I know that this story sounds really stupid and silly, but that scammer was stupid enough to believe my story, and I guess it was because of his greediness to snatch the $600,000 I offered. The stupid bugger somehow fell for it, lost $250 of his savings, probably which he earned by scamming other people. And now he is threatening to take legal action against me. I'm actually scared that he might use this letter as proof and contact the bank here. I'm not worried about him taking any legal action, but only worried if this specific bank would take any legal action against me for using their name, if they are ever notified about this incident. I'm planning on posting this on r/legal advice as well for advice, just as precautionary measures in case this goes south. I hope my figures would arrive on time as mentioned in the ETA. Super thrilled to finally own all those expensive figures I've always dreamt of having. TLDR got $250 from a South African scammer, and now he is threatening to take legal action against me. You know you won the year when you scam a scammer Lamau. What a way to end the year, right? If he does contact the bank, and they actually bother to contact you, couldn't you just deny it? It wouldn't be hard to convince them that a South African scammer is lying, defrauding you, and now the bank. You didn't actually utilize the bank, so I doubt they are going to dedicate much resources to help this guy. Yeah. My only concern is if the bank would get involved and track me down somehow. It was $250, not $500,000. No drugs are involved. no bodies. I highly doubt anyone would care. If this was done in America, I think the only thing the person could do was try to go to small claims court. But the bank might even go the distance and track me down just for the sake of fame and making it to the newspapers, a pretty big deal here in my country. But I doubt they would listen to some random South African ranting about being scammed. You're good. He got played and knows it now. Delete the email and never go back to it. Does the guy know your actual name? Sorry if I missed that part. Luckily nope. The guy doesn't know any real details about me.